What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. I know this environment seems unfamiliar because I've been out of the country for weeks filming abroad, and now I'm back at my desk with a beautiful landscape of Dubai right behind me. Glad to be back. I definitely missed you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to be talking about Palantir, and I'm going to be giving you 3 reasons why this stock could double in the short term. And 2 of these reasons won't be very obvious to the casual trader or the casual stock YouTuber, but you know we don't do basic on this channel, and I will only give you the highest quality content. Just like I do in our private trading group, it was one of the best trading months ever. We bought the dip on so many stocks: Nintendo, SAP, Tesla, DraftKings, Visa, and not only the stocks, we also had insane options plays as well, capitalizing on overreactions in the stock market on stocks like DocuSign, Apple. We sold a Neo put spread that's up 70% at the moment. GameStop, Workday banked 50% profits on Workday today. Jinko Solar. I mean, there was just too many plays. I usually don't have that many plays open at once, but there were too many juicy opportunities to take advantage of. If you want access to our wonderful trading group, over 1,000 traders where I send my portfolios, stocks, options, trade, crypto, link is in the description. Trust me, guys, you don't want to miss it. And if you get anything out of this video, leave it a big fat thumbs up just like this. Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know if you're trading Palantir and what your cost basis was. And make sure you follow me on IG and YouTube stories, especially if you want to get updates from my travels. I try to keep things interesting. All right, so Palantir, let us talk about Palantir. Again, 3 reasons why this stock could double in the short term. So first, I will go over my reasons, and second, I will tell you how I'm trading Palantir and what lucrative trades I see from my perspective. So you will want to stick around to the end of the video if you're interested in learning how I'm trading Palantir from a stock and an options perspective. Okay, so as I said, Palantir saw a 5% drop today, and this happened to coincide with the Citron short report. Now, we saw this with Neo, we saw this with Tesla. These Citron reports happen to come out right when the stock is overextended, right? So we see that Palantir is overbought on the RSI, on the stochastic RSI. It basically tripled in value in less than a couple of months. So it's not solely the report that's responsible for its small retracement. It's the fact that it was already overextended. However, I still remain extremely bullish on Palantir. So reason number 1, let us take a look behind the curtain and see what is going on with the 13F reports filed by institutional investors. What is the 13F report, you ask? Well, it is a report that they are required to fill and submit to the SEC, and I'm talking in this case about institutional investment managers, declaring what they are investing in. And if we take a look, there are 160 funds holding Palantir. Now, let us zoom in a little bit further. If we take a look at the 160 institutions, let's take a look at some of the names and some of the biggest holdings. There are a lot of familiar names on here. You see BlackRock, Price T. Rowe, Morgan Stanley, Third Point LLC, Eaton Vance Management, and they're holding hundreds of millions of dollars in Palantir stock. Now, obviously, these whales can smell something cooking. And if you just look at the contracts that Palantir has garnered recently, I mean, they're garnering contracts like they're a dime a dozen. U.S. Army Research Lab, NCATS, Mission Command Space, the National Institute of Health. I mean, the company has been around for 17 years, but its sales are growing just since going public earlier this year. It reports a 52% sales growth in first earnings statement since public market debut. Now, we'll talk about earnings in a second because that's actually my 3rd reason, but the 13F filings shows a massive financial interest in Palantir from some of the largest institutional investors in the world. Now, reason number 2 on my list is the unusual options activity. What is unusual options activity? Well, especially if you are a knowledgeable options trader, you know that when you see unusual options activity in terms of volume, right? So if there's just an astronomical number of calls, for instance, call options that have been opened, then we can surmise that some very big players in the game have a bullish outlook on that stock. And that is the case with Palantir. I want you to look at something. Total open interest on a stock, on a what was a $20 stock earlier this week, 1.4 million in open interest, right? Its 5-day change in open interest is 76% more contracts open. Now, if you compare that to one of its peers in its sector, let's take Cloudera, for instance. Just take a look at the open interest difference. Only 291,000 contracts in open interest. Now, you see this on stocks that have a lot of hype behind it. So if you take a look at NEO, for instance, 3.3 million in open interest. And that is after, a 12% decline over the last 5 days. But we all know what happened with NEO stock price. NEO stock price just went absolutely batshit crazy. And a lot of it has to do with the unusual options activity, which told us the story of the market sentiment, right? Remember, stock trading, what you're trading is what you think the future of the company will be. And momentum is dictated by how excited traders are to invest in that future. So in this case, when we take a look at Palantir, a company that literally just direct listed a couple of months ago, not even a couple of months ago, and it has 1.4 million in open interest. Now, let us go out to, let's say, the May contracts, right? May 2021. I mean, this is just insane. Look at the open interest change for like the $37 strike price, $37 strike price, 131,000% increase in these 37 strike price contracts, right? Look at the 40s. I mean, just today, there's 15,000 contracts of the $40 at, May 21st, 2021 contracts open, an increase of 3,000%. Now, even on the put side, you see there is a massive increase in puts, but because these are out of the money puts, it leads me to believe that this is actually generated by those who are selling puts, which is still a bullish position. And if you've seen my previous NEO videos where I've done an analysis on unusual options activity, we did see on NEO, back when it was just a $10, $15 stock, we saw a lot of interest in the $20, $30 range of NEO. And lo and behold, obviously it got to that mark and well surpassed it. So, based on the 13F filing showing massive institutional interest in Palantir, along with, I mean, this is just some of the craziest open interest change numbers that I've seen recently. It is clear that the market is ultra bullish on Palantir. And this doesn't even include the Robinhood traders or the FOMO buyers that are coming in by the waves. I'm merely talking about whales and institutions here, right? So, all right. So reason number 3, and then I'll get into how to trade or how I'm trading Palantir. Reason number 3 is simple. This has to do with earnings. Again, I mean, they're collecting contracts dime a dozen. It's fairly easy to see the projected growth. 52% revenue growth in its first earnings announcement since going public in September. And not only that, but analysts are expecting it to be free cash flow positive very soon, which is great for a company that just went public. But again, I mean, this is not a brand new company. It's been around for 17 years. Now, analysts are seeing 1 or 2 quarters next year where free cash flows will turn positive or close to that. Why is this important? Because remember, investing in stocks, the market is investing in the future. And if a company can prove very early on that it can generate positive free cash flows, then that is another milestone in which investors and traders can be confident about. All right, now how to trade Palantir. Obviously, I'm very bullish on this stock in the long term. As I said, I could easily see it double in the short to mid term. However, there is a lockup period coming up on December 31st at the end of the year. What is that lockup period? Well, it just means that the early investors will then be free to release some of their stock that they got in the single digits and sell on the open market. So being that occurs towards the end of the year, and I mean, that might be a reason why Citron did issue a $20 target by the end of the year. I mean, that completely makes sense to me, especially for a stock that looks overextended. I'm not saying it's going to hit $20, but I think for sure we'll see some volatility in the short term. However, because I'm bullish on the stock, you want to take advantage of overreactions. Just like we did this month with certain stocks like SAP or QDEL or Zoom, which we made a killing on. If you're still bullish on a stock, then you want these overreactions to happen. And instead of panic selling, what you would do if you're bullish is you would buy more of the stock when investors or traders are panic selling and they overreact. So if Say Palantir does drop to 20, well, I might even increase my position, and I would potentially buy some leap calls on Palantir at that point, because you want to be buying leaps when calls are cheap, and calls are cheap when the price of the stock drops. Now, as I always say, if you're a long-term trader or investor, you would just dollar cost average, meaning you would buy some here at 28. If it drops to 22, you would buy some more. If it goes up to 30, you would buy some more. You're just dollar cost averaging over the long term for a stock that you believe is going to increase in value drastically. However, as a trader, what I would do here is I would actually sell a cash covered put on Palantir if I'm not already in it, especially since the price dropped 5% today. So you could easily come to the put side and sell a cash covered put. Let's just say if we go out to maybe March 2021, you could sell the $25 cash covered put for $630. Now, what does that mean? Well, if Palantir doesn't hit $25, you get to keep $630 per contract. If Palantir does hit $25, then you will be buying 100 shares of Palantir per contract at a discounted rate. It's in fact not going to cost you $25. It's going to cost you $25 minus what you got to sell that put. So per share, you're collecting $6.30 to sell that put, and you're going to be buying up 100 shares of Palantir at $25. So your cost basis is actually $18.70, I believe. Yeah, because it's $25 minus $6.30. So for a stock that is projected to be at least $40, in my view, as well as the view of institutional investors and options traders, if you believe Palantir is going to be $40, of course, you would relish the opportunity to pick up some shares at a little over $18. So that is the first thing I would do, is sell a cash covered put. Maybe the March 2021 looks like we'd be getting good premium for it at around $630 per contract. Now, if you're not experienced, please paper trade this, read up on cash covered puts, do your due diligence. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Another thing you can do is you can buy the shares at whatever price it is now at $28, and you can hedge it with a put, meaning you can buy a put to hedge against your shares. So in essence, you would buy, I don't know, whatever, 100 shares at $28. And then you could come out to, like I said, there is a lockup period that occurs at the end of December. So usually we tend to see, maybe 10 days, 7 to 10 days before the lockup period is actually instituted, that we start seeing the price drop in anticipation of that lockup period, because it's known information, right? That information would already start getting priced in. So what you could do is actually buy a put to hedge against your shares. And lucky for us, these puts are actually quite cheap. You can actually buy a put for less than $2. So I would buy maybe the $20 put for $1.70 here, or you could go a little higher on the delta if you wanted to collect more. But for me, this isn't a main position. This would just be a hedge against the shares that I have, just in case we see a price drop. You want to make some money on that, waiting for the price to then rally, because like I said, if you're bullish like I am on this, then you know that any price drop would be temporary. The other thing you could do is, on top of that, or as a supplement to that, you'd buy the shares, buy the put, and then if the price does drop, you would obviously sell your put, and then you could buy even more shares at a discount. So tons of ways to play this. Obviously, I will be posting all of my alerts in the trading group below. I hope you learned something. I only plan on bringing you the highest quality content. Again, I always say this, I believe we have the best trading group on YouTube. The rate at which new traders are learning options is something that I can only be proud of. So I'm very happy to be running it and to be helping people get into options trading, or even just regular swing trading. Basically, these concepts that might be unintuitive or difficult for the average person to understand, once you get exposed to a bunch of traders that know what they're doing, and you have an open forum where you're asking questions, it is really a better way to learn than any textbook can provide you. Anyway, if you get anything out of this video, leave it a big fat thumbs up. Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know how you are trading Palantir and what your cost basis was. I will be doing a sweepstakes very soon. As you know, on the first of every month, I do a sweepstakes, and I pick a random comment and I go all in on that comment. Whatever stock or options play you want, I go all in on that after I pick the random comment. So that is coming up. So check back, towards the beginning of the month. I will be releasing some travel videos from Dubai very soon, so be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you want access to our trading group. Link is in the description below. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.